Remember, everybody, the Predecessor closed beta on PlayStation is active now for the next month. It ends in January 5th. Sign up on the website to get access to the closed beta. And also, Predecessor is free for the next week on the Epic Games Store. This is free permanently. Hey everybody, Obey the Papaya here. I saw this post on Predecessor Game about new players. What do you find confusing by Sir Triangle Brain? And I like this, and I kind of want to share my opinion on some of the questions that were asked, right? So things that I can help people out. So I wanted to go through it and kind of discuss it overall. So we'll go just step by step. We'll try to make it quick. So one person was commenting about the items are organized in the main menu. And I agree, that's an issue. Use Omedicity. I've said Omedicity in a lot of my videos. This website is so fantastic. You get to see overview of the total items. You get to see the character lists. You get to see builds. You get to see things about yourself. You get to see the highest level of players. You got Neft right here, right? You can click on his character. You can see his games. You can see what he tends to build on them. You can even click on, let me see if I can find out how to get to it. So if you go back in the stats, right? Stats, you get to see all this type of information, and then you can also look into what are the best builds that, you know, the statistics, the counters, like what is beating them, what is the counter. Take a look at this stuff. This is such good information. I want people to take a look at this. This is so important. This is literally for you guys. I want everyone to be doing a fantastic job in Pred. I want them to learn. I want people to be as competitive as they can be, as well as learn through this beta, right? So that's the first thing for items. It's going to be commented a lot here because a lot of people have issues with the store, but we'll keep going. So here I'm still trying to find out support gameplay. Honestly, playing as a mage support drummer or a tank support steel are two different feelings. I don't understand items yet either, but that'll come, I hope. Also, the backstrafing auto attacking at the same time with no movement speed penalty is nuts. I don't understand how to get on top of a carry. So let's go step by step and just how to play a support in terms of, I'm a mid lane main. I'm not here to give you guys any crazy tips, but let's talk about this in low elo as a beginner. If you're playing Narbash, you want to play as a fairly passive support and only look at being aggro when there's a jungler. All right, like in low elo play, you getting and out farming and having more gold into late game is going to be superior because not a lot of people farm in low elo. You want to take advantage of farming, right? So if you're a support Narbash, for example, your goal is to just do whatever you can to get your laner farm, right? And try to prevent the other laner from getting farm. Kills are important. That stuff's all important. But in low elo play, especially when you're learning, you want to just make sure your ADC is getting where you want your ADC to be. And as a support, the best thing you can do when it comes to low elo is just to support them in a way. Support Narbash. Use your RMB if you want to engage, right? You should only look at an engaging if you have the farm advantage. If your lane, if you clear out all the minions and you have minions and you're pushing, then you look into an engage. Other than that, don't look into engage. Play it safe. When you're, let's say the lane is just kind of sitting there as a Narbash, you just sit there, heal them, do whatever you can to make sure your ADC gets the good farm. And by the good farm, I mean that cannon. That cannon is 80 gold. That cannon is worth almost as much as an entire wave. It's so important to get a cannon, right? So that's why I go to the support steal. Support steal, you're just kind of sitting there. You're very good at providing peel in a passive way. You can engage too, but if you're in low elo, like I said, you just want to get your ADC farming. Keep your ADC in lane farming. Keep getting them experience. Keep getting them gold. Support steal, he has a shield. When you see a tank minion getting low, put your shield down, prevent the enemy ADC from getting that farm. When there's 3 attack melee and they're getting low HP, throw your shield down, prevent them from getting farm. Just those minute differences is going to make you so much stronger as a support player in this situation, right? And that's what I want to see coming from the low elo, the new players. That's what you should be looking on. You can look at engages, test yourself, limit test. It's a casual game mode right now and you want to learn, but this is like I said, if you want to play for the wins, if you do want to get a little bit into it, in this type of new play style, you just want to get your teammate farm and you want to play it safer. All right. To the backstrafing, there is no backstrafing penalty. Ranged characters, I think, don't quote me 100% on this. I think it's minus 25% on range basic attacks. On melee basic attacks, it's minus 15%. It could be 15% and then 5% though, respectively. So, but I can't quote 100%. I don't know the details too much on that. I had it before, I just can't think of it now. So there is penalty when you use your basic attacks. Some things like some skills, they're called like, so things that require casting, right? Those will lower your movement speed when you do a skill. Things that require an instant output, like Iggy Molotov, those don't limit your movement speed. So you get movement speed on some skills you don't. So notice that with your character and try to find out. Because I'm not, I can't tell you for every single character, right? But I know Iggy RMB, the Molotov, for example, when you throw that, you don't get a movement speed penalty. You're going the same speed, all right? Same thing with Morgish RMB, but I'm pretty sure her Q does make her slow, I think. So there, every character is kind of weird. It's some mechanics that you got to learn on like every character. So, melees, they have nearly no movement speed penalty. Rangers do, but it is relatively minimal, and there is no back penalty. Some people are confused. Retreat with advance, attack, advance. All right. A lot of people are aggro the W key. The in-game item shop, once again, I recommend taking a look at Meta City. And I know this is also talking about in-game, so that way you can have you customize the shop. That's not implemented yet. How do you know how to build a character? So first thing I would say, go look at the guides. Look at some higher tier players. I know higher tier players are going to play different than lower tier players, but I still think that it's a solid fundamental way. I don't recommend the recommended personally. You can play if you just want to play the game, as you should. You're playing the game. Learn, so there's no issue with it. But take a look at the higher tier players. Go on here. Hit up the leaderboard, look for people that play jungle roles or whatnot, or just the latest builds. Even I would watch out on the latest builds. A lot of these are casuals. Try to look up the rank, their ELO in a way, to get some knowledge. Look up some guys on YouTube. That's one of the best methodologies. Bash, while looking up builds with them, very successful. I have no clue how to build them. And you're learning. It's been what, 2 days? You're learning. Just learn. Just learn. Have fun with it at the same time. Take advantage of Meta City, but have fun. What items to pick and when to pick them. So this stuff can be, I can kind of split these up a little bit. So like Tainted, right? Tainted, usually mid laners don't build Tainted anymore. Tanks are the ones that build Tainted, for example. Mid laners kind of have a one-way build. Tanks / off laners, those guys are going to change their builds a lot. So, those, you have to be aware of that. And that's when you decide on if you need Tainted. That's when you decide on if you need Frost Guard for attack speed. That's when you decide on you need Crystalline because you have someone doing constant magic power damage, and they're very fed. So that stuff is going to be learned. And that's a subject on its own, and you have to learn the items. And being able to go and look at higher tier players and just taking a look at the leaderboard and looking at their games. Ray, being a developer, is a good one. I like to look at his jungle builds. I like to see kind of what is he building against a lot of these people, because he actually changes his builds up a lot. He doesn't build the same thing usually, right? Like here he has a Tainted Scepter. Who's he going against? He's going against a Chimera. He's going against a Grux. And he's going against a lot of people that are gonna get lifesteal. So he went with a Tainted Scepter second item, so you want to like focus in on that. And same thing with the crest. It's a learning experience. That stuff is gonna be learned, and can't do too much about it. Less confusing and more than I'm absolutely clear on this. We need to be able to assign items and build paths. Once again, that's not coming yet. Why am I being teamed up versus people better than me? Where's the MMR system? There's an MMR system currently. I talked with Jay Shreds about it. It is a lot better right now. I talked with Core, the developer of Meta City, who also gets to look at matchmaking. He said it's going to take time. It's going to take he notices that the MMR is tighter, but with console players coming in, it is going to change it up, and it's going to take about 2 weeks to settle. So it is there. You just got to wait, unfortunately. People are gonna have to learn and get naturally placed. I play Paragon a whole lot, so I'm used to the gameplay loop. What really boggles my mind is what the hell happened to inhibitors when they come back online after being destroyed once. So an inhibitor does damage. Once you destroy the inhibitor, it respawns after I think 5-ish minutes, and it doesn't do damage anymore. I think that the only advantage of having minions on the inhib is to reduce the defenses, but you can go and attack it yourself. The inhib, once it's destroyed, can come back, but it doesn't provide any protection anymore. I just want the abilities to make custom builds and change the cursor to the left stick. Oh, and make the map symmetrical, that's all. So that's just something that is in development. Someone tell these people to stay out of my lane. The amount of people who come over and feed them, leave me at a disadvantage is mad crazy. In a way, in solo queue, you got to think of being the solo carry. Stay in your lane. Don't really focus on doing rotations that much. The number one thing that I tell everyone that is new in rotations, your gank should not last more than 3 seconds starting from the ward, the closest ward placement from the fog wall. So imagine that there's a ward at the fog wall, right? The second you enter that, right, is you start the 3-second countdown. Why? Because you don't know if the jungler is going to come, and you don't know if your mid laner is following you. And if they're following you, they're going to be within 3 seconds easily, you know, in reality. So you need 3 seconds. The second you're basically at fog wall from a ward's length away, right, is when you start the countdown to of your entire gank. You go in, do whatever, come out, and call it a day. If it doesn't, you just go and you reset and you get your stuff back. You know, but you do want to stay in your lane a lot. Call your pings, call your MIAs, right? To do your MIA, it's right up. I think it's right up, and then you pick left, right, and whatnot, right? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it is left. Yeah, it is. Already have experience with trolls, not picking a proper character for the role. It's a casual. We got to get used to it. I do want to try and make some videos as often as I can of these type of things. So whatever's in Reddit and I see these type of feedback posts, you know, I want to help the community. I really want everyone to do the best. I want everyone to understand it. I don't want people trolling. I don't want unfun games. I want everyone to get, you know, up to par, right? So don't forget, closed beta access for PS5. And Epic Games, you can get the game for free for the next week up until the 14th for free forever for the basic edition. So take a look at that. But let me know what you think of this video. If it's too much, too little, you know, and we'll decide on that. But if you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and comment. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. But on that note, have a good one. Good luck on your games. I'll catch you later. Peace.